What has NASA discovered about Uranus so far? Our solar system is filled with fascinating planets, each with its own set of secrets. We still haven't solved all of your blue planet's mysteries, and there are 7 more to be investigated. Each planet has its own unique characteristics. Some are beautiful, some are enormous, some are small, some are hot, and others are cold. When it comes to frigid planets, Uranus gets the top spot. Uranus is the 7th planet from the Sun, and it was the first discovered by scientists. Uranus is visible to the human eye, but due to its dimness and sluggish orbit, it was long misidentified as a star. So let us begin our quest to learn what NASA has discovered so far about Uranus. On March 13, 1781, British astronomer William Herschel found Uranus using his telescope while scanning all stars down to those roughly 10 times fainter than those visible with the human eye. One star stood out, and Herschel recognised it was on a planetary orbit within a year. Uranus, as it was popularly known after around 1850, was named after the Greek sky deity Uranus, the first of the rulers of the heavens. It is the only planet named for a Greek deity rather than a Roman one. Many names were proposed for the new planet before it was named, including Hypercroneus above Saturn, Minerva, the Roman goddess of knowledge, and Herschel after its discoverer. Herschel offered the name Georgium Sidus, the Georgian planet, to please King George III of England, but the proposal was unpopular outside of England and King George's native Hanover, Germany. Uranus was given its final name by German astronomer Johann Bode, who analysed the planet's orbit. Bode contended that because Saturn was Jupiter's father, the new planet should be named after Saturn. Uranus' unusual physical characteristics. Uranus is blue-green in colour because of the methane in its primarily hydrogen-helium atmosphere. The planet is often referred to as an ice giant since at least 80% of its mass is made up of a fluid mixture of water, methane, and ammonia ice. Unlike the other planets in the solar system, Uranus is so tilted that it orbits the Sun on its side. With the axis of its spin virtually looking at the star, this peculiar orientation could be the result of a collision with a planet-sized body or multiple tiny ones shortly after it formed. According to a 2018 study, the colliding world may have been twice the size of Earth. This peculiar tilt causes intense seasons that endure approximately 20 years. This implies that the Sun shines directly over each pole for about a quarter of the Uranian year, which is equal to 84 Earth years, leaving the remaining half of the planet to endure a lengthy dark and freezing winter. Even though it is not the most distant from the Sun, Uranus has the coldest atmosphere of any planet in the solar system. This is due to the fact that Uranus has little to no internal heat to supplement the heat from the Sun. Most planets' magnetic poles are more or less aligned with the axis along which they rotate, but Uranus's magnetic field is tilted, with its magnetic axis tipped about 60 degrees away from the planet's axis of rotation. This results in a strangely uneven magnetic field for Uranus, with the strength of the field at the northern hemisphere's surface reaching up to more than 10 times that of the strength at the southern hemisphere's surface. According to a 2017 study, the unbalanced form of Uranus's magnetic field may also cause it to flicker on and off during every rotation. Uranus's atmospheric composition by volume is 82.5% hydrogen, 15.2% helium, and 2.3% methane. Its internal structure is made up of a mantle of water, ammonia, and methane ices, as well as a core of iron and magnesium silicate. According to NASA, Uranus's average distance from the Sun is about 1.8 billion miles, or 2.9 billion kilometers. This is around 19 times the distance between the Earth and the Sun. Uranus's harsh climate. Uranus's significant axial tilt can cause peculiar weather. According to NASA, as sunlight reaches some locations for the first time in years, it heats up the atmosphere, unleashing massive springtime storms. However, when Voyager 2 first imagined Uranus in 1986, at the height of summer in its south, the spacecraft saw a bland-looking sphere with only about 10 or so visible clouds. prompting it to be dubbed the most boring planet, wrote astronomer Heidi Hammel in the Ice Giant Systems of Uranus and Neptune, a chapter in Solar System Update, Springer 2007, a compilation of reviews in solar system science. It was decades later when improved observatories like Hubble came into play and Uranus's long seasons shifted that astronomers witnessed the harsh weather on Uranus. Summer storms raging on Uranus were first observed by astronomers in 2014. Strangely, these gigantic storms happened 7 years after the planet's closest approach to the Sun, and it is still unknown why the giant storms occurred after the Sun's heating on the planet was at its peak. Uranus indeed has rings. Uranus's rings were the first to be observed after Saturn's. They were an important discovery since it helped astronomers understand that rings are a widespread feature of planets, not only Saturn's. Uranus has two sets of rings, the inner system of rings that is generally made up of thin, black rings, but the outer system found by the Hubble Space Telescope is made up of two vividly coloured rings, one red and one blue. There are 13 known rings around Uranus according to scientists. Uranus has moons as well. Uranus is known to have 27 moons. Rather than being named after Greek or Roman mythological entities, the first 4 moons were named after magical spirits from English literature, such as William Shakespeare's A Midsummer Night's Dream and Alexander Pope's The Rape of the Lock. Since then, astronomers have continued this trend, naming moons after Shakespeare or Pope's work. Uranus truly stinks. Hydrogen sulfide, the chemical that gives rotting eggs their odour, is found in the planet's cloud tops. The highest clouds of Uranus are composed of hydrogen sulfide, the same chemical that gives rotting eggs their unpleasant odour. Fletcher and his colleagues found that the chemical fingerprint of hydrogen sulfide near the top of the planet's clouds using a spectrograph on the Gemini North Telescope in Hawaii. The team reported April 23 in Nature Astronomy. That was not entirely unexpected. Observations during the 1990s revealed evidence of hydrogen sulfide lurking deeper in Uranus's atmosphere, however the gas has never been definitively found. Could life exist on Uranus? Uranus, according to NASA, is not a suitable environment for life as we know it. It's likely that some of the planet's larger moons have massive reserves of liquid water beneath their frozen surfaces that may be habitable settings. In 2018, an ambitious group of early career scientists and engineers proposed a $1 billion full-fledged mission design that would take advantage of a planetary alignment that would occur in the 2030s. At the cheap expense, the expedition would do minimal science but may nonetheless contain devices like as a magnetometer, a methane detector, and a camera. It implies that there is much more to come about Uranus, and this is far from the last expedition. It may take some time, but we will soon learn so many new things that will entirely change the way we view the universe. So let us keep our hopes up and wait to see what the future has in store for us.